All right. So we pretty much know what happened down there. We went down there and supported the sister, and the people was very receptive. Y'all got some of those videos? Yes, posted. We're gonna play some of those videos. Right now, like, give me Baruch. Go to Baruch real quick. Baruch 2. Baruch 2, read 1 and 2.
The book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 1. Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah.
Come on.
To bring upon us great plagues.
Great what?
Great plagues.
Great plagues, read.
Such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses.
So we know that's talking about Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the curses. All right, these were the things that was going to happen to our people in this land, per the prophecy of Moses. All right. So y'all got any of those videos? So it was the thing that happened with Sonya Massey. That was a tragedy, but these things stop happening to our people because our people in a deep sleep, and the Lord wants us to wake up. And we only wake up when we being afflicted, right? So let's get a couple of those videos to show how we went out and supported our sister.
The shooting of a black woman inside her own home is sparking national outrage this morning.
You all should be livid at what happened to Sonya Massey. It should bother you down to your spirit. I couldn't watch that video a second time. We are.
That was my best friend. It make it seem like we can't come together, and y'all are together. I love it.
Right now we in Springfield, Illinois. This is the home of our sister Sonya Massey, where she was brutally murdered by a police officer. We have to come out here and show our people who they are, give them an understanding of God's word, who God is, who Christ is, Jesus is the black Messiah.
So we showed up today in numbers, in full force, in unity for our sisters to show that we stand for those in our community.
Again, he sent forth other servants. Again, he sent forth other servants. Meaning what? That's us constantly coming out to the streets, constantly coming out to the highways and edges.
Play the next one.
Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people.
I can't see nothing.
For the destruction of the daughter of my people.
It's not real. This can't be real.
Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people.
For the destruction of the daughter of my people.
It's not real. This can't be real. I'm sorry.
We're going to get justice for sure. I know. We are for sure. I'm positive.
Eye trickleth down and ceaseth not.
Eye trickleth down, meaning you can't stop crying. The tears just flow and flow and flow.
Till the Lord look down and behold from heaven.
Until the Lord look down and behold from heaven. That's the part we're waiting on right now.
And now let this world.
There's going to be more Sonya Massey incidents. That's the only way God says our people will repent. If we don't get afflicted here, our people will not repent.
Book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Vain help is when Sonya Massey called the police. That was vain help.
Jump in the whip, we blitzing the day. Killed that damn sister, we feeling the way. Them crackers might kill us, we know what they say. You feeling scared, just stay out the way. As for the props, we moving in ranks. Bootstrap pants, crease sad by the lace. They killing our people and getting away. Purple and gold, we making it shake.
Look what the music they promote to our young men. The drill music. You sitting up there rapping about killing one another.
I'm willing to stand up for God in these last days. I need some hands. I need some participation. Who won't stand up for God in these last days, man?
By IUIC, we got stress for the domes. I fight to come back, then we cracking some domes. We patiently waiting the fate of the saints. These nations gon' pay us, we breaking the bank. We blessing the city, we came to get busy. We crying aloud, ain't sparing no feelings. We sending it up.
And I had to say to God, why me? Why my child?
The two police officers that were outside the door when he walked out the door, those same police officers arrested me the day before. That whole weekend they was on a rampage.
Oh, I was people in the name of Jesus.
Son, my kids have had altercations with the police. I've had altercations. My family has had altercations. My uncle was beat blind by the police. There's been murders. There's been all kind of things documented. We've been fighting and hollering and screaming for years. Nobody came. Y'all did.
You all should be living at what happened to Sonya Massey.
Creflo Dollar, personal private jet. Ask yourself, have you ever seen them at any of these events? Have you ever seen them step boots on the ground to support any of our people?
You can sweep it under the rug like they gonna do Sister Sonya death, or you can stand on top of the rug and say, I am a child of God.
All right, so give me that in Job chapter 36 and verse 15, right? Because right now, our people, you got something you want to say? Right now, our people, you know what I'm saying? They, it's a trauma right now. You understand what I'm saying? But read this.
Job chapter 36 and verse 15. He delivereth the poor in his affliction.
Come on.
And openeth their ears in oppression.
He openeth right now. With the affliction, he's opening our ears for our people. Through the affliction, our people gonna begin to receive the message of God that we in our enemy's land. We being oppressed, and our only way out of it is through the Lord. Ain't no other way. You understand? They're gonna begin to see that. And give me that in Nehemiah 9 and 27 real quick. Right now, they just seeing us march in support, right? But when our people get afflicted, that's what they seeing right now, and they seeing us preach the Bible. They ain't all the way woke yet. They ain't seeing us as who we are yet. But watch this. Read
Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 27. Come on. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven.
Come on.
And according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors.
Gavest them what?
Them saviors.
Read.
Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
And guess what? They're going to start looking at us as the saviors. All I kept hearing when we was leaving up out of there was, when y'all coming back? Y'all going to come back?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This is what all the women were saying. They don't see no protection down there. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have no sense of security or anything. They looking at us as their saviors, right? And then I was just looking at the men down there. They all docile. They weak. You understand what I'm saying? And that's because they don't know who they are. You know, they need to be built up. Stan, go ahead. You got something?
Yeah, man. In Springfield, man, Officer Zaya, we was driving around, you know, and one of the things I noticed, you know what I'm saying, the police officer, he was tatted up. I'm talking about a whole sleeve on his arm. And I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? How is that professional as a police officer? So that lets you know.
That was the same police officer that shot Sonya Massey. He had sleeves on his arm.
Yeah, they all got sleeves. You know, and then where we held camp at, it was all Jake over there. But where her house was at, we drove maybe 7-8 minutes away. They sprinkled in the middle of Esau. You know what I'm saying? So you could tell the difference when her house that's over there. So that was one of the things I noticed down there in Springfield. Like, our people in pockets, you know what I'm saying? They in one section, and then where she was at, they in the middle of Esau. Like, they got Esau neighbors. And it's a spirit down there, you know what I'm saying? Esau bold. And then another thing, we went to the Casey's gas station for a bathroom break. They noticed we was different. Y'all not from around here. That's the first thing they said. So they knew some real men came down to Springfield. You know, so Lord's will, we can, you know what I'm saying, go back out there.
Hey, check. Yeah, and when we went out there, also we talked to our neighbors. We actually went to the house, and like you were saying, obviously how the people don't feel at ease, and the women know they don't got any protection. Her neighbors is 2 women that live next to her, and they were saying like they from that incident they traumatized and they scared to go outside. You know, like they don't feel safe. Cause like you said, where she live at, they not in a spot where it's just all Jake. Cause how Springfield is set up, you got a white side, you got a black side, and you got a mixed area. That's what Sonya Massey is. She was in the mixed area, and but it's riding through the neighborhood. It's all Proud Boys, American flags all over the place. You know, the big trucks, trailers. You see all of that. So you know the definitely our people don't feel safe, but definitely our women. That's why it's important for us to be out there and show our presence as the army of God.
Right. All right, now give me 9,002. Give me 9,002 real quick. So this ain't you know, this is just the recent thing that happened. But you know, our people been going through this. You understand what I'm saying? So this week I wanted to kind of hone in on the history, like some of the history in Springfield, right? Go ahead and hit that article.
Listed through the Jim Crow era and were a way to keep black people out of a community.
In a special report, our Kyra Willis sat down with 2 people who were impacted by sundown towns right here in Illinois.
Hey, pause it.
I spoke to 2 Springfield.
Who is familiar with sundown towns? Raise your hand. Okay, so we got a bunch of youngsters that. So this is why we going over this. You understand what I'm saying? Because the next generation need to know this stuff, that this is real. Springfield, Illinois is a sundown town. You understand? Now, go ahead and finish playing.
Residents from different generations about their experience with sundown towns in Illinois that happened decades apart. And what they tell me is heartbreaking.
Southern Illinois was very sympathetic to the Confederacy, and so we were very aware.
Stacy Grundy is a native of Alexander County and grew up right outside of Cairo in the early 90s, less than an hour away from the town of Anna.
Growing up, we were always taught that Anna stood for ain't no ends allowed, and so it was always ingrained in us, and always the message was just reiterated to us that, you know, you don't stop here unless you have to. You get in and you're out by sundown.
Grundy says when she started driving, her parents gave her the talk about sundown towns, encouraging her to avoid them at all costs.
They literally had a map for me to say, okay, if you need gas, only stop here because, you know, these are sundown towns.
She says her first memory of sundown town racism came when one of her family friends was killed after his car broke down in Anna while traveling with his friend.
One of the guys decided to go and get help, and another guy, he decided to stay in the car and just wait. And I remember when he returned to the car, his friend was no longer in the car. And so when they found him, he had been laid on a railroad track and a train had ran over him. And so they never found out what happened to him. And we, you know, as a community, we knew, but it was nothing that anyone can do.
77-year-old Erskine Route, a native of Mount Vernon, grew up in the Jim Crow era of segregation.
When I got to high school, there were certain teams that we couldn't play because we had colored players. So we couldn't play Pinckneyville, we couldn't play Carbondale.
As an adult, Route and his band were forced to find ways around sundown towns in order to record in a Pekin studio.
And it was on the west side of Pekin, so we had to drive on the country road around to the west side. We couldn't drive through town. Oh no.
He says this was an everyday life for him and his family, including fearing for his safety when marching with civil rights leaders against segregation.
I wasn't at the front, you know, so I wasn't worried about the dogs and fire hoses and things like that. But you know, you still had this anticipation that, you know, so I wasn't worried about the dogs and fire hoses and things like that.
No, go back about 30 seconds.
You still had this anticipation that, anything. Oh no, west side of Pekin, so we had to drive on the country road around to the west side. We couldn't drive through town. Oh no.
He says this was an everyday life for him and his family.
Anything could happen at any time.
Both Grundy and Route say their experience is not unique, telling me many Black Americans living during the Jim Crow era can tell similar stories on their experience with sundown towns. In the studio, I'm Kyra Willis. Back to you.
So
thanks, Kyra.
All right, you can drop that. All right, so that was just an example that they was giving about their experience. They had to have a map to navigate that area. You understand? And I think that's only like an hour away from Springfield. Like that whole
yeah, that's right
area.
Across the, because I'm from Cape. That's right across the bridge, like 30 minutes across the bridge. So we knew, growing up, we knew about Anna. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was ain't no niggas allowed. That's what everybody knew it as.
You know what? Them towns still exist because I drive trucks. I drive through these towns. I go deliver there.
You feel it, don't you?
Yeah, matter of fact. Yeah, I ain't going to tell the story, but yeah.
Tell the story. Come on, tell the people, man. Tell the people.
I was at a warehouse somewhere in Missouri, probably about an hour away. I was having a guy unload my truck. He didn't want to do it at first, but, I told him it's just one pallet. He tells me, you won't get hanged today. That's what he told me. And I didn't believe he said it at first because it didn't register in my brain till after. I'm like, did this dude just say he won't hang me today? Then he started laughing. So then he walked away. So I was like, yeah, it's real. It's real.
Right. They it's 2024. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show, no, I ain't going to show that. But it's 2024 and the Negro still, give me that Isaiah 29:10. People think just because we got cell phones now, Bluetooth, you understand what I'm saying? Everything's wireless, that you're going to be able to escape the racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coincidence. Racism is accidents and coincidences. You understand? That's what the younger generation think. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Why read that? Why read that? Deep sleep, meaning because like the Sonya Massey murder, you had people immediately come out and try to justify the shooting. That's the sleep. When it's obvious, it is what it is. You trying to justify in your head like, well, she shouldn't have threw water. You ain't see the water. You just heard him say that. That's the psychological trauma that we going through right now. That's the sleep. Go ahead, read.
And hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered.
Right. So, because you don't see none of our leaders, none of the Christian pastors and the leaders in the Christian church, they ain't speaking on this. I seen one clip of one pastor. He got mad. Captain Zakar played it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find it, but he was mad. You know what I mean? And that's what you should give me that in Ecclesiastes chapter 7. When you see stuff like this, you should be mad. You shouldn't be trying to justify what happened so you don't get mad at all white people. You understand what I'm saying? So you can, cause you got the one white person at the job that's always nice to you. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, that's how people think, man. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad.
If you believe in God, guess what? When you see the oppression of your people, you're supposed to be mad at that. You're supposed to be mad. That's how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to be mad when you see it. You ain't supposed to be immediately justifying it. You're supposed to be mad. Get that in Deuteronomy 28 and 34.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes.
The sight of what?
The sight of thine eyes.
When you seen that sister get gunned down like that, you should have been mad. It should have made you mad. That's what God trying to tell us. You're supposed to be mad when you see that. Go ahead.
Let me get Leviticus 26 verse 15 because I'm going to show you what the Lord said he was going to do to us, and this is exactly what's going on. Read verse 15 and 16.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant,
go ahead.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
Right, you see that? The Lord said he was going to appoint terror over us. He's using Esau to terrorize us. He gunned that sister down, and everybody's afraid. They's afraid of what's going on. Why? Because the Lord put these curses on us. He's trying to wake us up. But this is in the Bible, say he was going to appoint terror over us. Why? For breaking his commandments. And it's going to continue to happen until we repent. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got.
Deuteronomy 28:65.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
And guess what? Down there in Springfield, the climate already been messed up, but it really done changed now. They ain't gonna find no ease down there. Go ahead.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
Come on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
What?
A trembling heart.
A trembling heart, read.
And failing of eyes. And sorrow of mind.
All of our people down there in Springfield got sorrow of mind right now. They all saw it. The whole world is doing marches and things like that. Our people as a whole felt that. If you didn't, then I don't know, man. You need to check your soul. Read on.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
And now that's what they feeling now. They life hanging in doubt now. They can't call the police. Go ahead.
And thou shalt fear day and night.
Come on.
And shall have none assurance of thy life.
Now they don't got no assurance in their life when they call the police. Now you call the police, you may lose your life if you having a nervous breakdown. For something simple like that. You could tell when she was, with any sane human being can understand that something was wrong with the sister. She didn't have them all. They knew that. He knew that. And he decided he was judge and executioner that day. All right, let's get some history on this. Go ahead.
Check. Hey, get Psalms chapter 6 and verse 6 to go with the Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65, and that's a very heavy scripture. Read that real quick.
The book of Psalms chapter 6 and verse 6. I am weary with my groaning.
It says what?
I am weary with my groaning.
Read.
All the night make I my bed to swim.
It say that's how much crying our people. That's talking about our people, right? When you read Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65, it said the failing of eyes, meaning that you can't see what you hope for, what our people hope for, which is the justice, right? The reparations, right? Equality, right? That's what our people be hoping for. But we get this instead. Read verse 6 again.
I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim.
Right, from what?
I water my couch with my tears.
With the what?
With my tears.
But that's what happens when our eyes fail. It get filled with what? Read it again.
I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with my tears.
Keep going.
Mine eye is consumed because of grief.
Because of what?
Because of grief.
Now, that just, reason I brought up the scripture is because when he was watching that video, the sister was talking about the event about the brother that had got rolled over by a train. Like, and I know we saying that a brother got rolled over by a train, but like we don't even really understand because we so desensitized.
Right.
Somebody got rolled over by a train. That's crazy. You know how long? You know you be at the stop.
Listen, when you mention a train, somebody getting ran over by a train, it's normally an accident.
Right.
If they white. You don't never hear about the Chinese man getting rolled over by a train. Or the Arab man. But our people, they get set on the train track and ran over. Go ahead.
But you know how long a train is. You know when you get stopped, when you driving on the road and you waiting for the train, to go by. You there for damn near 20, 30 minutes sometimes.
Imagine the torment on that brother.
And people seen it. People seen it happen and seen the aftermath.
What about him?
Right,
before he died.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? He's sitting on the train, so he feeling the vibration of the train coming. Man. You can hear it, doo, doo, doo. You can hear it from a mile away. You understand?
That's terror. That's failing our eyes, the terror. You don't, that's the anticipation of that coming. Keep reading on that though. Keep going. Read verse 7 from the top.
Mine eye is consumed because of grief.
Right, that's us going through the oppression, read.
It waxeth old because of all mine enemies.
Some of our people, we cry so much, we can't cry no more. Your eyes stop working. It said because of all of the things that our enemies done to us, read.
Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity.
This is when the scriptures say, Ecclesiastes 7:7, oppression maketh the wise man mad. This is what is supposed to provoke in us to do. Read it again.
Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity. For the Lord hath heard the voice of my weeping.
Right, he heard us make supplication unto the Lord when these things happen to us. That's why the things do happen, unfortunately, but that's why it happens, so that we can wake up. Keep going.
The Lord hath heard my supplication. The Lord will receive my prayer.
Read.
Let all mine enemies be ashamed and sore vexed.
Right.
Let them return and be ashamed suddenly.
So that's the hope that's actually supposed to see, that we're supposed to see, and opposed to the failing of the eyes and all these horrible, horrific stories that we hear all day long, and we be getting desensitized to it. It's so many stories, it's too many to count, right? But that's it.
And with that being said, because the white man nowadays, he got the audacity to tell us, to forget about it. That's in the past, or everybody's been in slavery, everybody's been oppressed. Hey man, look, ain't nobody faced the fear and the terror and the anguish of mind that our people went through. Like he said, a brother had to be tied down to the train tracks and wait for the train to come run him over slowly as he feel all that pain. You had our mothers whose babies was tore out of their stomachs and smashed on the ground in their face, and then they was lynched because they spoke out against the oppression of their husband being lynched. This the terror that we got to deal with. So when the nations try to compare what they went through to us, it's impossible. So yeah, a godly man, a godly woman gonna keep that terror, that anger that's built up from that, and they gonna organize and fight against it. But don't ever let them tell you to forget or leave it in the past, or everybody goes through this. Nah, nobody went through what we went through. So you can't sympathize with me. That's why you see how they talk about these cases, and we be looking at them like they crazy. Like when we tell our side to white people, they looking at us like we retarded or something. No, because they can't sympathize with what we've been through. We are a traumatized people, but trauma breeds unity. You got to remember that.
That's facts. All right, get 9003. Let's go through some of the we're gonna do a little reading right here. Get some of the some history of the mentality of those devils down there in Springfield. All right, so this is the book we're finna go into. It's called SunDown Towns, a hidden dimension of American racism. All right, because it's hidden because I ain't learned about sundown towns in school in my public education. Did you? Okay. All right. Hit the next page. Let's do some reading. Can you see over there real good, Isaac?
Yes, sir.
Come on, read.
Where you want me to start at?
Well, where that little blue mark at? I got that paragraph. Start right there.
Creating sundown.
Hold up, man. Blow it up. I can't see nothing.
Yeah, very small.
All right. Come on.
Creating sundown towns by violence. Often white residents achieve their goal abruptly, even in the middle of the night. In town after town in the United States, especially between 1890 and the 1930s.
So that's the window when they was creating sundown towns by violence between 1890 and 1830. Remember, we just got emancipated in 1865, right? But go ahead.
Whites forced out their African-American neighbors violently, as they had the Chinese in the West.
We don't give a damn about no Chinese, but go ahead.
Decatur in the northeastern Indiana.
Decatur.
Oh, sounded good. All right. In northeastern Indiana, went sundown in 1902, as told in the excerpt above from the New York Times. Adams County, of which, how you say it again? Decatur, is the county seat, wound up without a single black household. A century later, it still had only 5. Decatur exemplifies a widespread phenomenon. Little riots, most of which have never been written about, even by local historians. These are cases of what Donald Horowitz called the deadly ethnic riot. He cites examples from India, that K-word, and Malaysia, Nigeria, and other countries, and defines the form as.
Come on, go down. All right. Start at towns.
Towns with successful riots wound up all white, of course, or almost so, and therefore had an ideological interest in suppressing any memory of a black population in the first place, let alone of an unseemly riot that drove them out.
Come on.
Whites also tried to cleanse at least 15 larger cities of their more substantial non-white populations. Denver of Chinese in 1880.
We don't give a damn. Go ahead.
Seattle of Chinese in 1886.
Who cares?
Akron in 1900. Evansville, Indiana, and Joplin, Missouri in 1903. Springfield, Ohio in 1904.
Nah, that's just say Springfield. Go ahead.
1906 and again in 1908. Springfield, Missouri in 1906.
We just saw that in that clip that the sister and the old man was talking about. Springfield, 1908. They had that on there, but go ahead.
Springfield, Illinois in 1908. Youngstown, Ohio, and East St. Louis, Illinois in 1917. Omaha and Knoxville in 1919. Tulsa in 1921. Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1923. And Lincoln, Nebraska in 1929.
Come on. Next page. Blow it up. See, this is the history that we were supposed to learn. Our parents were supposed to teach us this.
And you know what? I was just going to say that it's so hurtful and traumatizing that the elder people in your family, they don't like to talk about it because it hurts so much to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? I remember one time my grandmother was saying how I think it was her brother ended up getting shot by a white police for no reason. And I never seen her get that distraught and, you know what I'm saying, and start crying before, because that's my grandfather didn't like driving past certain trees down south because he seen, you know what I'm saying, people get hanged. You understand? But these the things they don't talk. You end up hearing about it from your aunties and your uncles, but you never really hear about it from the elder in your family.
Right. Go ahead. Yeah, they failed. Come on.
They failed mainly because the task would have taken 3 or 4 days, giving their governors time not only to call out their state's National Guard, but also to realize they would get considerable criticism, and so would their state if they failed to act.
Come on.
Some of these larger riots have received some attention, including books and historical markers, since they were unsuccessful, and that they failed to drive out all African Americans. They have left fuller records of the process because interracial communities have no need to deny that they had once had a black population.
You see that? So they did a whole bunch of ethnic cleansing, but it's gonna get just keep reading.
As well, they have black populations with their own collective memories. Indeed, in Tulsa, an ongoing controversy concerns reparations. But most of the little riots have gone entirely overlooked.
Read that part again.
But most of the little riots have gone entirely overlooked.
Read.
And as a result, the pattern of widespread ethnic cleansing, of which these failed large attempts represent the tip of the iceberg, is not generally understood. Moreover, even when the cleansings were incomplete, they made a profound impact upon surrounding towns, often inspiring satellite riots.
You see that? So even when they failed to get everybody out, it still left the trauma there for the people. You understand what I'm saying? Because now it's some numbers. They're gonna get into some numbers later.
Hey, officer, they said they failed, right? Meaning they didn't kill every single man, boy, women, and child, right? They counted that as a we didn't. Damn, what's wrong with y'all?
Right. Either they was forcing them to leave or they put them to death.
That's crazy. Meaning that all these thousands of lives that was lost, and they counted that as, damn, we didn't do it right. That's wild.
Because the goal was to get rid of all of us out their town.
That's the devil.
Come on, keep reading.
Consider the 1903 attack on the black community in Joplin, as was
That's
often.
Joplin, Missouri. Joplin, Missouri. How far Joplin away? 4 hours? 3 hours? 3 hours? I remember we was coming back from somewhere and we stopped somewhere in Joplin. I was like, man, we got to get the hell out of here. Who was with me? Was that with you with me? I'm like, man, we get the hell out of here, man. We ain't stopping here. It was night. It was like 2 in the morning. I'm like, nah, we out of here. Come on.
As was often the case, it started with an act of violence against one white person. In this case, the murder of a police officer. There was little doubt that the assailant was a black tramp named Thomas Gilliard, who was quickly taken into custody. Several hundred white people then gathered outside the jail, broke through the wall, and lynched him.
And did what?
And lynched him.
Now, they said that, it's the book. You know what I'm saying? They saying that he killed the police officer. He probably did in what? Self-defense. I don't believe nothing they saying. You understand? Right. Tell me he broke. Right. You got to read between the lines. Man, they opened the door. But go ahead.
Several hundred white people then gathered outside the jail, broke through the wall, and lynched him after a tug of war with other whites who tried to stop it.
Cap. Cap. Come on.
Then the mob went through black neighborhoods, attacking African Americans, burning their homes.
So the white people that was trying to stop from lynching old boy, they ain't go help them. They ain't go stop them from going into other black neighborhoods. I mean, if the white people there, this was the police station, they broke them out the jail, so they had guns on them. So that means this should have been a gunfight. I don't hear nothing about that. Huh? But go ahead.
Then the mob went through black neighborhoods, attacking African Americans, burning their homes, and cutting firemen's hoses so they couldn't intervene. Half of Joplin's 770 African American residents fled for their lives. Joplin was large enough that the mob could not drive all African Americans from the city, but the results are still plain. In 2000, Joplin had a lower African American population proportion, just 2.7%, than it did in 1902. Moreover, this riot, along with several others in Missouri and Arkansas, helped foment an ideology of ethnic cleansing that made most of the Ozark Plateau a sundown region by 1920.
A sundown region. Keep reading. Come on, man. We got to read all of this, man. We got to get all this in there. You understand what I'm saying? This history right here.
Another unsuccessful cleansing in Springfield, Illinois, had a still greater impact.
Okay, now this is the topic of today. You understand what I'm saying? It started somewhere. You understand? We know where it originally started from biblically. White folks just hate us. It just is what it is. We natural enemies. But these are details not too long ago. This 1908. You understand? It ain't too, this is 100 years ago. I mean, but I know some of you young folks, y'all think that's a long time. That ain't no damn long time. Right. You understand what I'm saying? But go ahead.
In 1908, residents of Springfield acted on their own desire to have an all-white city. A white woman, Mabel Halem, claimed George Richardson, an African-American, had raped her. Police jailed him, whereupon a mob gathered at the county jail to lynch him, along with another black prisoner accused of murder. The sheriff borrowed an automobile from businessman Harry Loper, however, and managed to get both prisoners safely out of town.
You know, they always got to have some type of white savior in the story. You know what I'm saying? You got to read between the lines. Get the hell out of here. I don't believe that, but go ahead.
What? Angry at being foiled, the mob destroyed Loper's restaurant and then turned its rage on the African-American community in general. According to Roberta.
Hey, just to because like officer said, 1908 wasn't a long time ago. Just to kind of give you an idea, you got people alive today whose parents was born around that time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That ain't no long time, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, go ahead.
Especially in regard of how these other nations raise their children. You understand the mindset, it ain't far gone that the mindset has changed. You understand what I'm saying? So the kids that we was going to school with, they knew about these sundown towns. We didn't. You understand? And they was raising their kids with those same mindsets, you understand? To be dominant, to be superior.
I think Officer Maccabees was saying it earlier, how, or it might have been you, how some of our people think, like, it's some good white folks out here. Why ain't none of them white folks, all these white folks that our people think is good, why they ain't tell you about the sundown towns? You know what I'm saying? Why they ain't tell us about that? That's crazy.
Damn. I know my great-grandparents, they got like 100 acres of land in Alabama, Montgomery. I used to go down there as a kid. We would always drive down this dirt road and drive down. I always seen a big white house at the top. It wasn't until I came in the truth and I asked, what is that big house up there? They said that was the slaves owners' house that they owned our parents in, you know, our ancestors. So I said, damn, that's a plantation? So my people worked off the plantation and they gave it to them because they didn't need it no more. But the house was still on top of the hill. So this whole time, that's a slave plantation. They never told me that. Never told me that. Crazy.
Come on, let's keep reading.
Seneca, whose books is the standard source on the riot. During 2 days of violence, white rioters gutted the capital's black business district, left blocks of black homes in smoldering ruins.
Hold on, let's not speed past that. Springfield is the capital of Illinois. Yes. Damn. The capital of Illinois is a sundown town. Come on. Yeah, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln from there.
White
he
riot
freed the slaves. Huh? The man that grew up in the sundown town freed the slaves.
I guess that's so much for pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That's how we do that. They try to, you know what I'm saying, take our boots.
Damn. Go ahead.
White rioters gutted the capital's black business district, left blocks of black homes in smoldering ruins, and lynched 2 innocent black men, Scott Burton and William Donegan. The rioters' ultimate goal seemingly was to drive away all of Springfield's blacks. Seneca concluded. The task was simply too large. However, since Springfield in 1908 had about 3,100 African Americans in a total population of 48,000, nevertheless, some 2,000 did flee the city.
So that explains why when we went down there, all our people was in that concentrated area right there. You understand what I'm saying?
I got a precept on that. Hey, get Psalms 137 and verse 8. I mean verse 7. Because we just read 2-3 pages about them explaining, and I keep trying to stress it, they condensing this down. Thousands of people died, got displaced, all the evil that was going on right here, right? This biblical. Read that.
Psalms chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
We know that's the so-called white man today. Read.
And the day of Jerusalem. Who said, raise it.
They said what?
Who said, raise it. Raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Read.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
So the point we wanted out of this was this is how they was in them riots, cutting the water hoses, burning down the buildings, ripping the brother outside of the jail, talking about they the doors. What they say? The door they bust through. They bust through the walls.
And they was fighting the white people in there. The officers was fighting them off.
Come on now. No, this is what all they was in one consent saying, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. That was their plan, to destroy the whole community. Real quick, go to Ezekiel 35. Now, this was back in the time of when we got kicked out of our homeland, but this the same thing applied today. How we know that? Read this, Ezekiel 35, verse 5.
Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
We know perpetual means forever. How we know it's perpetual? Like Officer Michael was just saying, they teach these things to their children. They teach that same hatred is bred in them to their children. That's how we know it's perpetual, and it just happened. It's still happening today. It happened during the time of this book. It happened during the time of the Bible. Read it again.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Read.
By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Right. And during them times, our people were still trying to come out of slavery, get they quote unquote pick themselves from their bootstraps and get stuff established. And then they said, no, burn all this down.
Burn it down.
Burn it down. Burn it. That's what they say. That's
hold up. And why, since you're making that point, when we went down there, it was businesses down there, right? Did any of our people own any of them? The only thing I seen black people that might have owned was that one barbershop I saw. But it was Arabs with chicken spots on every corner.
Damn. That's it on that though.
Right, there was 50 churches in the 20-block radius.
Right. How the neighborhood set up in Springfield. We went out there. We did a lot of touring around the city. And how Springfield set up, like I said, you got the white side that has all your Walgreens, your Snooks, your Walmarts, all your major commercial businesses. Then you cross over to the black side. All you see is Arab, chicken spots, liquor stores. It's 1,000 churches everywhere.
Bro, they ain't had no Family Dollar.
Right, the family. They had a Family Dollar.
It was shut down.
It was shut down. The Family Dollar.
The Negroes ain't got no money.
And the Dollar General shut down. So it's an obvious red lining going on out there. So these sundown towns ain't no joke. And that's why I got to keep the prophets in prayers, because like the officer was saying, as we travel, we travel through all these cities that we reading about. We've traveled through all of them. And most of these times we doing these blitzes, we riding at night. So we riding through these sundown towns when Negroes are not supposed to be out there. So that's why you got to keep us in prayers. We know we got the Lord working with us, but we also got to be mindful when we moving around as well. We ain't naive out here. We know that these devils hate us, and we travel through these spots. So it's a real war going on that ain't being publicized, and our people that our people was not aware of. But us as spiritual men, we aware of these things, and we can bring the scriptures to it to bring it to light.
All right, come on, let's keep reading.
Only the belated arrival of the Illinois State Militia kept the mob from finishing the job. Springfield being the capital, the state government simply could not ignore this riot.
Hold on. Where you at? I can't even see.
Started at only the belated arrival. We're at the very
go
top.
ahead.
All right, now we're on the second paragraph. The Springfield riot was famous briefly throughout the world, not because it was unusual, which it was not, but because it happened in Abraham Lincoln's hometown. Mm-hmm. Springfield's history.
Good old Abe. Go ahead.
Springfield's history encapsulates America's downward course in race relations from the Civil War to the Nadir.
Hold up. Look up encapsulates. What that mean? You know what that you smart. What that mean? All encompassing, put all together. All right. Let me see the definition. What's the example? Oh, the epitome. Okay. I want to see it though. I believe y'all, man. I trust y'all. It says to enclose in or as if in a capsule. Wow. Epitomize. Yeah, that's what we want. Epitomize, summarize. Yeah. You said that. All right, you smart. All right, go back. The Springfield riot.
The Springfield riot was famous briefly throughout the world, not because it was unusual, which it was not, but because it happened in Abraham Lincoln's hometown.
Come on.
Springfield's history encapsulates America's downward course in race relations from the Civil War to the Nadir.
Yeah, it epitomizes it. See that thing? See how I just used that right there? Go ahead, keep it going.
When Lincoln's funeral train brought his body back to Springfield for burial in 1865, a regiment of black troops led the procession to the state capitol.
See, look at that. Huh? Look at that. Damn. Our mind's been warped since then. Understand that. Our mind's been warped since then. But go ahead.
Thousands of African Americans had journeyed for days in order to be in Springfield at the funeral, according to an officer in the military escort for Lincoln's body. Afterwards, some of them stayed on to live in the city. Now the townspeople of the great emancipator were trying to expel them all. Abe Lincoln brought them to Springfield, and we will drive them out.
You see that?
Shouted members of the mob.
You see that? You see what the good old white folks in Springfield think about us niggas? They want us out of there.
Hey, you know what, man? I was just thinking about the money system. I ain't no conspiracy theory, but you notice the only colored money is a penny and Abraham Lincoln on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, yeah.
Man, you watching them? What was that? Hidden Colors. You old Hidden Colors, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, look at him.
Hold up. Hey, but to that point, officer, you said
that was deep. That was deep.
That was deep. Yeah. Like you said, they hate us up there, man. If y'all would have seen their faces when we was marching through that thing, you know what I'm saying? Boy, they was looking, man, you know what I'm saying? They was like, somebody's got to put a stop to this. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how they was looking. Like, they was looking appalled. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they hate us, you know? And we got to understand. We got to understand it. Let me get one script real quick. Let me get Sirach 12 real quick. Because we got to understand something, man. Sirach chapter 12 and verse, 10? Yeah, let me get that. Sirach 12 and 10. Read that.
Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So they true colors always gonna show at some point. You know what I'm saying? All they waiting on is the opportunity. The same way a snake do. You know what I'm saying? That same white person, that white man, white woman, this is a good white man, good white woman. Give them a gun and a badge and see what happens. Put them in a place of authority to where they can do something to you and get away with it and see what happens. You understand? All it takes is an opportunity. And they true colors gonna show every single time. Right? Read it one more time for the people. Read it.
Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Right. They true colors gonna show all the time. Keep reading.
Though he humble himself and go crouching,
right?
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
Right. So although he make himself friendly to you, you know what I'm saying? Because really it's just tolerating. We really, you know what I'm saying? We tolerating each other at this point. Jacob and Esau tolerating each other at this point. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our people need to understand. So though he make himself friendly, read.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Beware of him. Read.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass.
Right.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Read.
Set him not by thee,
right?
Lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Right.
Lest he seek to take thy seat.
Because they always looking to throw you under the bus at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's at your job, whether it don't matter what this, give them an opportunity, it's going to happen. Jump down to verse 13. Finish it off.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Because that's what you trying to charm a snake. You know what I'm saying? It's eventually going to bite you. That's what you doing when you trying to be friends with the white man. Our people, they go above and beyond to flatter these devils. Damn. You know what I'm saying? That's what our people do. That's why you got brothers and sisters, brothers on the internet, you know what I'm saying, defending a white man against Sonya Massey. Defending him for what he did to our sister. Because our people go above and beyond to please or to flatter the white man because our people look at them as God. We got to get that out of our head. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. 16, read that.
Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Yeah, you know, they be trying to bring food to the job. Yeah, my wife cooked this, donuts and all that type of stuff. I'm pretty sure all y'all done experienced that.
And it be nasty. The Negro still be eating it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's free. It's free, I'm eating it.
Because it's from the white man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really is.
Ain't lie to him like it's good.
Right. Damn. Right, read on.
But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
Right, because they think deep. You You know what I'm saying? They always plotting. The white man always scheming. He don't never just do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he got an agenda behind it. That's their nature. You know what I'm saying? Every move a snake make is calculated. It's an agenda behind every move that a snake makes. Right? Is that it? Read on.
No, sir. He will weep with his eyes. But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
Damn, read that part again.
He will weep with his eyes. But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
There you go. Give him the opportunity. Go ahead.
That's Donald Trump. A lot of black people vote for Donald Trump. They say, go Trump, go Trump. We love you, Trump. But this Donald Trump whole plan, his plan is to make Negroes agree that he liked them, he for the black people. But the Lord telling you what he's going to do is blood. Donald Trump is making laws. He was coming out with a law about beheading. Now, the scripture talk about beheading the prophets in the last days. That's Trump, you know. So we see him in the spirit right there. He want blood at the end of the day. Go ahead, officer.
Hey, keep reading. Read verse 17. Because, like you said, Trump making laws. He's trying to get rid of taxes for income taxes. All right. He's trying to get rid of things like welfare, government assistance, things like that. Keep reading. Verse 17.
If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first.
You see that? The Bible says, if adversity come upon thee, you're going to find him there first. Read.
And though he pretend to help thee.
He pretended to help us in his first election. All right, his first term in office. All right, he pretended to help black people. And that's what got a lot of our people supporting him now. Go ahead.
Yet shall he undermine thee.
Right, with the stimulus checks and everything. But now, when he gets back in office, he going to switch it. His face going to change. Give me Sirach chapter 9, verse 13 real quick.
Hey, officer, can we keep reading on that?
Yes, let's go ahead.
Can we keep reading on that? Watch this. Because remember, because this what happened to Sonya Massey. He came pretending to be helping the sister.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But guess what happened? Read verse 18.
He will shake his head and clap his hands.
Right.
And whisper much and change his countenance.
But he came to her with all hostility. You know what I'm saying? His whole when she said, I rebuke you in the name of, his whole countenance changed, and he drew his gun.
Right.
And gunned our sister down. You know what I'm saying? Before you, when verse 16, when it said he would not be satisfied with blood, remember Officer Noah was saying, when he brought out the point, when they killed all them people, and they said they was mad because they didn't kill all of us.
Right.
They wasn't satisfied
with the blood,
with all the blood that they shed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, officer. That's all I want.
Hey, keep reading.
That's it on that.
No, next chapter.
Next chapter. Sirach chapter 13 and verse 1.
We can just keep going. Read.
He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith.
The pitch is these other nations, all right? In regard of the white man, that's who we talking about. If you touch that pitch, you want to celebrate the things he celebrate, you want to vote for him to rule over you, you're going to be defiled with that man. We got to stop trusting in these other nations. Read.
And he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him.
Read.
Burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest.
So don't burden yourself above thy power while thou livest. Our power resides in this Bible, in keeping the commandments of God. Read.
And have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself.
We're not supposed to be entering no covenants with the white man. You understand? Signing contracts. Now our ball players and our entertainers can't do nothing because they signed their soul away.
As soon as they sign that contract, they lip sealed on politics, religion, and everything. They can't speak their mind about nothing, like Kanye West.
Exactly.
They took all his money out of his account. He was a billionaire. He said what he said. They dropped down they took $900 million from him.
Damn. Overnight.
And he was saying that they froze his account, so he couldn't even get to the money that he was looking at. He couldn't even get to that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, keep reading.
For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together?
We two different nations. We'll never get along. That's why God separated us. He set the lines and the borders according to the children of Israel. But America tried to make us think that we can assimilate and we can all come together. That's a lie. We cannot all come together and live in tranquility. Read.
For if the one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken.
Read on.
The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he and yet he threateneth withal.
Read.
The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also.
You see that? That's why our young men was still leading the charge for Abraham Lincoln to get buried. You understand? That's why we see ourselves in the scriptures. That's all I got.
Hey, can get Ezra chapter 4 verse 1 real quick. This is a perfect example of what we just read. Watch this. Read Ezra in the Bible, in the Old Testament, not in the Apocrypha. Ezra 4 verse 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now when the adversaries
Adversaries are not your friends. Read.
Of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel.
Right.
Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them,
This is what the adversaries, the people that ain't your friends, said to us. Read.
Let us build with you, for we seek your God.
Ain't that what they be saying? I'm black. I grew up around black people. I love black people.
That's what the police said when we were marching down there. He pulled up like,
Right.
"Hey, I wanted to help you guys. You guys didn't let me. If you would let me know, I could have helped you guys. Ain't nobody finna let you know nothing because soon as we ask you, guess what you gonna do? Try to find a way to stop it."
Facts. Facts. Read that.
Let us build with you, for we seek your God, as ye do.
Lies. Read.
And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Zardan.
Keep going.
King of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Read verse 3.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them.
This is the same mentality we had when them cops tried to. We didn't give a damn about them cops trying to help us. Read.
Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house.
It said what?
Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God.
So our forefathers didn't have nothing to do with these people. Read.
But we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia hath commanded us.
Read verse 4. Now after they just told them we ain't got nothing to do with y'all, we don't want y'all help, then they true colors finna come out. This was their true intention. Read.
Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them.
And they did what?
And troubled them.
But I thought they just wanted to help. They just said, hey, let us help build with you. We want to help you. We just like you. Read it again.
Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
So this is an example of what we just read in Sirach 12. This is an example of what go on today. This the real mindset of the liberal today. That liberal man, that liberal woman that say they care about you, but they don't.
That's the NAACP. They try to work with them to help the black community and the black community. When did the NAACP start? In like the 40s, 50s, something like that. Yeah, Amalek behind that, right? Guess what? Black folks still getting shot in their homes.
Hey, the NAACP is in Springfield, Illinois.
They down there.
Yeah.
Big building. Hey, but let's finish this. Let's finish this article real quick.
After the riot, Halam admitted she made up the story about being raped to cover up an affair she was having. Nevertheless, most Springfield...
Stop. Start over.
After the riot, Halam admitted she made up the story about being raped to cover up an affair she was having.
Damn. And some of y'all, these white, look, the white woman is the devil the Bible speaks of. Damn. I got a book. It's called Women of the Clan. I'm definitely going to bring some of that stuff out. I'm going in that thing right there. But go ahead.
Nevertheless, most Springfield residents showed no regret, except about failing to drive every last black person from the city. The tree from which the mob hangs got burdened. A black barber was hacked to pieces to make souvenirs of the occasion.
Look at the mindset of these devils. You understand what I'm saying? Our people have to see them as the devils they are. The scriptures say, actions are weighed. We reading their actions. These are the actions of a devil. These are not the actions of someone that could teach you God.
Right, because guess what? They didn't practice proper judgment or judgment. You understand? Where was the trial at? They just took her word for it and killed a man. You know what I'm saying? He had kids, he had a family and everything like that.
Every example we done read so far, it was off an accusation. He did this, jail him, get lynched. He did that, tie him to the train track.
What
the
hell is this? After the riot, some employers fired their black employees, and many local shopkeepers now refuse to serve African Americans. Later, 107 people were charged with crimes, but the only person sentenced was a man convicted of petty theft.
Go ahead, you read.
Later, 107 people were charged with crimes, but the only person sentenced was a man convicted of petty theft for stealing a sword from a National Guardsman. No one was ever convicted for murder, arson, or any other crime against an African American.
So get that. It says a man was convicted of petty theft for stealing a sword from a National Guardsman. I guess what color he was. They said he was sentenced. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? People died in that riot. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The Springfield riot stands as a prototype for the many smaller riots that left communities all white between 1890 and 1940.
Read it again.
The Springfield riot stands as a prototype for the many smaller riots that left communities all white between 1890 and 1940.
Little old Springfield, Illinois is the prototype of a sundown town. Damn. So, ain't no such thing as no coincidence. Ain't no such thing that the Lord sent the prophets of God down there for this. You understand? Come on.
Most of which have never been written about by any historian. Indeed, the Springfield riot itself spawned a host of imitators.
Hold up, read that part again. The Springfield riot, what?
The Springfield riot itself spawned a host of imitators.
Imitate. People started, after they heard about what happened in Springfield, all the little towns within 4 or 5 mile radiuses in Illinois and all the surrounding states start imitating that. Springfield was the inspiration. Come on.
White shouted.
Hey, don't let nobody tell you that things is coincidence. This is spiritual right here. You understand? Come on.
White shouted, "Give them Springfield," during attacks on African Americans.
Hold up, what was the slogan when they was giving riots?
Give them Springfield.
Give them what?
Give them Springfield.
They was whooping, rape, robbing, and murdering our ancestors, our forefathers, and yelling, "Give them Springfield."
That's them saying, raise it
Exactly.
to the foundation.
Come on.
During attacks on African Americans as far away as Alton, Illinois, Evansville, Indiana, St. Louis, Missouri, and the Cumberland Plateau in Kentucky and Tennessee. Closer to home, the Illinois State Register reported at Auburn, Thayer, Verdon, Garrard, Pawnee, Spalding, Buffalo, Riverton, Pana.
All of those are little towns and little counties in Illinois. Go ahead.
Taylorville, Pleasant Plains, and a score of other places in central Illinois. A Negro is an unwelcome visitor and is soon informed he must not remain in the town. Some of these towns, such as Verdon and Pana, were sundown towns before the Springfield riot. Their exclusion policies had merely become newsworthy owing to the riot.
Read that part again. Their what?
Their exclusion policies.
Exclusion policies. Go ahead.
Had merely become newsworthy owing to the riot.
Come on.
Others, such as Buffalo and Pleasant Plains, excluded African Americans in its aftermath. Neither the local county, state, or federal governments ever brought anyone justice for any of these expulsions from smaller towns.
They all got away with it. No one got sentenced or jailed for the rape, rob, and murder that was going on in these riots.
Think God is not going to hold you guilty for that?
Give me that in Ecclesiastes 3 and 14. Ecclesiastes 3 and 14. Go ahead. Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 14. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that man should fear before him.
Read.
That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past.
God requires what happened in the past. Everything that happened has been recorded by the angels, and they're going to get what they deserve. You understand? And we got to pray for that thing. Every time you say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, that's what you praying for. Them to get what they deserve. Come on. Finish reading that.
Since they taking off, go ahead.
Neither the local, county, state, or federal governments ever brought anyone to justice for any of these expulsions from smaller towns. Buffalo, a little town 12 miles east of Springfield, became all white on August 17, 1908, 2 days after the National Guard ended the Springfield riot. Not to be outdone by Springfield, whites in Buffalo posted the following ultimatum at the train station.
All right, it was more, it's a lot more, but for time's sake, we're gonna stop it there. But give me that and go ahead, you got something?
Yeah, I just got one last thing. I'm on the Springfield News website, and I'm looking at the protests. They have that on there, but you had over 500 men in purple marching on Saturday. They don't got that poster.
Hey, and we Captain Shim spotted and Fox 2 was down.
Yeah, they was in a helicopter.
They
They had a helicopter up there.
Big camera, big $400,000 camera. You need two people to hold that thing. They got the footage.
I mean, you had over 500 men marching through the town. You don't think that'd be on the news? It ain't on there. But they got the other protests on there because you got Esau sprinkled in there, and that's all I said on it.
Oh no, I ain't got nothing. Well, get Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. As we read in this history, right, that has not been really publicized like it should have been, and we don't get, this information in the school system, we understand that the scriptures is true. Read that in Zephaniah 2 and verse 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So we are a nation that's not desired. Some of these things that's being brought out, I didn't have any idea. I didn't know it was this deep when it came to the SunDown towns. And it not being that far from now. You understand? Go ahead.
Before the decree bring forth.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to gather our people, all right? We need to understand, all right, that we are a nation that's not desired. These other nations, they do not desire us. So we got to gather together as the Israelites. That's why we didn't see it on Fox 3 or whatever that was, because guess what? J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America is black unity. And guess what? Black unity was all over Springfield.
That's all the people were saying. When they was putting the camera was put on, they asked them like, "What do you see?" I like the unity. I like how y'all together. They in order. That's what all the people were saying.
Exactly. So that's America's biggest threat. So they would never televise it. You understand? Continue reading.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
And that's our wish. That's why we go out here to the communities, all right, organized in unity, all right, so we can be that example and bring the solution to our people. Because guess what? A lot of our people see the things that's going on in the East, right? And they, it ain't bothering us. You know what I'm saying? So why should I have to worry about that? These things come. Give me 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42 real quick. All right? These things are being done in the earth, right, so the black man can wake up. Because as you brought out in Job chapter 36 and verse 15, our ear is open in oppression. Read what you got.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 42.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
So just a little bit over 100 years ago, these things was happening to our people. And guess what? We know it's going to be another big insurrection, according to the scriptures, upon Israel again. So these things are going to happen again. And we out here to show our people, look, these things we got to prepare for. Read.
Right. It's cycling back around.
It's cycling back around. They're going to be empowered, emboldened, all right, to do these things. Read.
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
Read.
So I answered and said, couldest thou not make those that have been made and be now and that are far to come at once, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner?
Okay, that's all I got on that.
Give me Psalms 94. Psalms 94 and 20. Psalms 94 and 20. Because don't think that these things that we reading about that happened in the early 1900s ain't gonna come back around. You understand what I'm saying? Read that.
Psalms chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
And see, that's what they gonna do. They gonna disguise a lot of the things that they gonna do to us through policy, through law. That's what we just read in the thing. They were saying, go back to the Sundown Town, that last page. Go back to it. It's
got it up.
Read where it say, start at where it say some of these towns.
Some of these towns, such as Verdun and Pana, were sundown towns before the Springfield riot.
Come on.
Their exclusion policies.
Exclusion what?
Their exclusion policies.
They had exclusion policies. So even though they was being violent about it, it was policy. You understand? That word they put there for nothing. You understand? Go back to Psalms chapter 94 and verse 20.
Psalms chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
That's how they gonna get away with it. When Trump get in office or whoever, Trump calling it, what is it? Project 2025. Yeah, Project 2025 or Agenda 47. Those are his two things that he gonna implement. But guess what? If he don't get in this Kamala, whatever that East Indian, what they call him? Yeah, whatever she is. You understand what I'm saying? Hers ain't gonna have the same title, but she gonna implement the same thing. Because God's judgment is like a ring. And guess what? If our people don't wake up, they're gonna be caught up in it again. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? The prophecy said we gonna wake up.
That's right.
You understand? We're gonna wake up out of this sleep. All right, y'all, get that in you said what?
I said it's more on
Oh,
that.
go ahead, read.
They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood.
You see that? And condemn the innocent blood. That's why they putting our people to put our people to death. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Can we get 23, verse 23? Keep reading through 23.
Yes, sir. But the Lord is my defense.
We got to understand that the Lord is our defense. Even if we got to die, you understand? If we die keeping the commandments, all right, we shall never die. You understand? We will rise again, all right? Read.
And my God is the rock of my refuge.
Come on.
And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity.
That's what's going to happen. He's going to bring upon them their own iniquity. They're finally going to get judged for the things they did to the children of Israel. Read.
And shall cut them off in their own wickedness.
He's going to cut them off in their own wickedness. Read.
Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off.
The Lord is our defense. That's what we got to understand as a people, all right? Because we don't have guns, all right? We don't have tanks and airplanes to fight against them. The Lord is our defense.
And with that, we say shalom.
We will work with anybody and form coalition with anybody that has revolution on their mind. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. We want freedom by any means necessary. We want justice by any means necessary.
This is a revolution of God. This time that we're living in, the greatest time on earth, revolution. Spiritual and biblical revolution. All these lives will be shut down in the earth. I am a brother. He's strong in the Lord. He's life. He's life. He's life. He's life. He's life.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the